very happy and honored to welcome our chief guest, Mrs. Pallavi Mahajan, Vice President VP HPE India, and Mrs. Ritaben Patel, Mayor, Gandhinagar Municipal Corporation. Joining us today as our guest of honor are squadron leaders Varna Balyan, Indian Air Force, Mrs. Shilpa Malik, founder BioScan, and Deputy Commandant Anuradha Shukla, Indian Coast Guard. On behalf of IAR family, we extend our warm welcome and express our sincere gratitude for accepting our invitation and agreeing to be a part of this event. Empowered women is powerful beyond any measure and beautiful beyond description. Women adore many roles throughout her life: a daughter, a wife, a sister, a mother. But many a times, while living those roles, she loses her own identity and dreams. While striving to match up the set standard of perfection, she forgets to celebrate her imperfections, the imperfection that makes her who she is. As our Union Minister Smriti Irani ji has urged us in her address yesterday only, when we appreciate a successful woman who gets out of the house, we should not ignore women who chooses to stay at home on her own free will. Such women also have an important contribution to the development of the country. Stressing upon the role played by women in overall upbringing and shaping up of the future generation, let me now invite Dr. Ruchi Singh, Provost, Institute of Advanced Research, to address the gathering and felicitate the invitees. Over to you, Ruchi, ma'am.
Thank you, Divya. So once again, I formally welcome the chief guests of today and the guests of honor on behalf of entire IR fraternity. Now we all know who are our guests, chief guests, and the guest of honor. As I said earlier, this year Women's Day theme is Women in Leadership. And today's event is planned to tell our young generation to broaden their horizon and explore what is best for them without hesitating in entering into an unexplored or less explored areas by women. Also, this is a day to acknowledge the courage of some women of breaking the rigid stereotypes and coming out as strong, powerful women. It is a day to spread awareness among the people regarding women's rights and gender equality. This day celebrates social, economic, cultural, and political achievements also. And also to encourage the women out there that no hurdle can stop them from accomplishing their dream. It is also acknowledged to make people aware of women's rights and gender equality. So ahead of the
Excuse me, ma'am. Your audio has gone. It has gone mute, ma'am.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll just say one important thing that I was supposed to say, even if it was done earlier. That is, we are here ahead of the special day, that is the Women's Day, that is on 8th. We are celebrating it ahead with the Women's Achievers Award. I'll request Ms. Deepa Tilak to share the slides now, so that our audience can see the awards as well as the photographs of the awardees. Even if in last few months we have got used to this new normal and the concept of webinar, nothing can take place women leaders receiving the awards on stage at IR campus. I'm sure next year when we plan these awards, we'll be able to do that.
They have set an example of themselves with their life of women leaders. They have set an example for the entire young generation to look up to get inspired, and they have opened a new path, a new horizon to be followed. We are honored to have all of you amongst us, and it's an honor that you have accepted our invite and have come here and joined in this session. Thanks a lot. Once again, congratulations, Anuradha, for the award.
Congratulations, Deputy Commandant Anuradha, and welcome. And very much thank you that you could take out time to join us. So it's my honor actually today that I'm here today congratulating, applauding the women achievers and recognizing their accomplishments. I must appreciate the efforts taken by our invited speakers for taking out time from their busy schedule for us and the conveners of the event for inviting speakers from different fields and executing this event strategically. Happy Women's Day. Thank you so much. Now, Divya can take over.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, the most awaited part of the entire session, that is to listen to the golden words of our invitees, to listen to their experience that have molded them to be the leaders of the current India. First, I would request Pallavi Mahajan ma'am to share her experience and her journey to success. Over to you, Pallavi ma'am.
Hi, I'm going to share a slide that I just wanted to share with this audience here. Let me know when you can see the slides.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible, ma'am.
I'm going to keep it very short, but the stuff that I wanted to share with this young generation that I'm addressing today is, stay focused. I can tell you out of my own experience and my journey that in this entire journey you will find many moments when you feel like you're failing and you feel like giving up. Don't give up. Every time you're faced with something negative, you are in a pressure situation, trust me, it will bring the best out of you. And failure is just a stepping stone to success. So don't get bogged down with failure. Don't worry if you are in pressure situation. We all go through it. I'm a technologist at heart. I have done multiple projects. I have built multiple products. And none of my successful products have happened without failing in making some bad products. So this is a message that I wanted each one of you to have. This is one of my favorite players, Kobe Bryant. And he says that we all go through self-doubt and it's okay, but capture it and make it your strong point. Like, when you get to know what is missing in you, it's good for you to realize it, but then quickly start working on it. And which is where the message that I would want to leave to everyone here in the room is, have confidence. You might, and especially when I look into my daughters and I look into this young generation, and I myself have gone through a lot of this. When you look into your peer group, you feel like you might probably not have it and others have it. Believe in yourself. Have confidence in yourself. And when you see anyone struggling with it, inspire it in others. The third point that I wanted to say, and this is especially for all the girls, many times we wait for someone to come and give us an opportunity. I can tell you out of my own career, and I can share so many stories, but I know I don't have the time to do that today, that opportunities do not come knocking to you. Sometimes you have to go and ask for it. And when they come, seize it with all open hands. And last but not the least, invest in yourself. Never stop learning. When I started my career, we would code in a language called Pascal. I'm sure you guys would be laughing. I mean, you would probably not even have heard the name of this language. To where this industry is today. If you keep on learning and you keep on investing in learning new skills and technologies or whatever you are wanting to do in life, make sure that you're always investing in yourself. And go about, find people who inspire you and seek for mentorship. So this is if I were to just in a nutshell go about and say, look into every time there's a failure, it is an opportunity for you to rise. Have confidence in yourself. You are the best person who knows your own strengths and weaknesses. The third is go seize opportunities. Don't wait for opportunities to come and fall in your lap. And last but not the least, learn, learn, learn. Never stop learning. That would be, my take based on my journey. And I will hand over to the next person.
Pallavi ma'am, for the wonderful message. While listening to your message, it just reminded me of a quote of Nainawal Kidwai once I have read. It states, each woman would have faced many challenges, but when someone puts you down, it is when you feel the need to rise up. That was the essence of your message as well. We should never give up. We should fight for the success. You might face failures, but you have to learn from it. Your experience is the best teacher. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for sharing this wonderful message to our young generation. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thanks, my pleasure.
Now, let me take this opportunity to call upon our mayor, Mrs. Rita-Ben Patel. She will be sharing her experience as the mayor of GMC. Rita ma'am, over to you.
Hi, Miss Divya. She just
Yes, sir.
popped a message in the chat box that she has to leave for a meeting.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Thank you for informing, sir. So because ma'am has some emergency meeting, so we'll go to the next person. I would like to call upon Swapna Balyan ma'am. I know many of us students are eagerly waiting for this session. Swapna ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Divya ma'am. Thank you so much. And first of all, to all the invited distinguished guests, the guests of honor who are here today, the head of the institution of Institute of Advanced Research, Gandhinagar, all the faculty members, organizers who have organized this beautiful program on the occasion of International Women's Day, to all the students, girls and boys and their parents who are a part of this program, first of all, a beautiful morning to all of you. It's not just yours, but honestly, it's indeed an honor for me because, I'm getting a chance to interact with such young minds. I do it every single day when I'm in the school, and this is what I was looking forward to. So thank you so much. And also, a very heartful thank you for those kind words in my intro, which were spoken. Really overwhelming. In these, I would take a little more time because I don't know how many of you really know about services and what the kind of life that we, that we go through in the services. So I will take about 10 to 15 minutes. So it will be a slightly longer session. What I will tell you is I'm not going to tell you why I did what I did and, why I choose to do what I did in the past, but I'm going to tell you how I did and what were the takeaways from the 10 years of our tenure that we have in the Indian Air Force. So let me start off with class 11th. I was in class 11th and we had our English teacher. She walked in the class and she wanted to know what all of us would want to become in future. So she started off asking every single child from the first one. I was in the third column. So she started off from the first column. And, everybody came up with wonderful answers like I want to become a medical, I'm a doctor or an engineer or a sports person. And at that point of time, I was thinking, what should I come up with in such a way that the response of my teacher should be very different from the responses that she's giving it to the others. In a way, I somehow wanted to impress my teacher. So I was literally, thinking hard as to what should I say. And when my turn came, I stood and I said, ma'am, I want to serve the nation and I want to be a pilot officer. And to my surprise, none of them came up with this answer. And my teacher was like, hats off, girl. I mean, I salute your courage. I salute the passion that you have, of serving with nation. Of course, at that point of time, I never thought so seriously that one day I would eventually, turn into a pilot, a military pilot, that too. So that was one incident, and when she came up with that kind of response, that was the first stage in my life which actually told me that yes, I can think differently from what others were thinking. It really was like kind of a huge motivation and a boost for me. And then, I had this normal student life, struggling with subjects, no clarity of thoughts as to what subject am I going to pursue with. And, like every middle class parents, how middle class parents are. They're very, very hardworking. They set a goal and they make sure that they achieve that goal. So, likewise, even my parents also, planned, that my father planned that my daughter one day is going to be a software engineer, for which she has to, and these parents back calculate everything. So if she wants to be a software engineer, she has to study MCA, for which she has to get into a college and study the Bachelor's of Computer Applications. And I was forced into this course. Now 4 months down that time, I realized that whatever grades I'm scoring, I was good in studies, scoring beautiful marks, but whatever grades I score, eventually I will land up to be a disastrous software professional, because I don't like coding, I don't like languages, and I really wanted to study a thick subject like physics. So there, all that Cold War started between me and my parents, and fortunately I was successful enough to convince them, and I landed up in a degree college studying physics. Now there, I met this girl. She was studying physics with me. Now this girl was a rank holder of, class 12, some third or I think fourth rank she scored all over India. Now what she used to do is, apart from getting good grades, she was also participating, going out in colleges, and most of the time she used to be out. And she used to participate in paper presentation, debates, and learning physics and studying those extra books. And, I was very curious to know as to, what is she gaining with that, taking that extra pressure on her head. I'm also scoring the same marks that she's scoring. Why is there a need to do these or to take on these extra pressures? What is she learning? Eventually, everybody is going to see only the grade cards. Nobody is going to know what we did in the college. So what I did was, like what she was doing, the same way I went and I said, okay, I'll participate in this paper presentation. And the preparation of the paper presentation was about a month. We had to read a lot of things, do a lot of Google research, talk to a lot of professors about the topic. And I still remember my topic, it was nanotechnology. So I landed up for this competition. There were around 35 to 40 colleges which were there. And I batched, first prize in that, which was really good. But that is not the point, I'm trying to highlight here. What was even more, the best about this competition was, when I got this rank 1, the judge came over onto the stage, and he said if Swapna would have had 2 or 4 more hands, she would have made her presentation even more lively, more interactive, and wonderful. And he said, very nice girl, hats off, and very good performance. And you can't believe that was the second time in my life that I was getting this motivation from someone. Even those words still linger in my, they still resonate in my ears. And it was, for a student who's studying in college, it was a big, a big motivation, great words. And that was the point where I never looked back. Since then, there was this kind of attitude that, I can hack anything, I can do anything, I can accept anything, whether I fail or I don't, or I succeed. And then I finished my bachelor's, my post-graduation degree. And then we decided, few of our friends were like, let's go and see what is SSB, because I never went to SSB. I never saw what is SSB. My father was in the Air Force, but even he was like, no, you're not meant for, Forge. It's better that you study physics and do your PhD. But I was good at it also. I was good at the subject. So I said, okay, fine, let's go. So we went for this SSB. 5 days we enjoyed, learned a lot during those 5 days, teamwork, and collaboration and everything. It was a wonderful time that we spent. And I went for this Army SSB first. So I cleared my Army SSB, and suddenly I thought, let me also try for Air Force. So then we went for my flying pilot SSB in Mysore. There was a test called PABT test, which is Pilot Battery Aptitude Test. It's a once in lifetime test. If you fail it, you can't become a military pilot. So civil pilots, I don't think they have to undergo this test. So I never played computers, but somehow the attitude with which I went was, let's see if it's okay if I don't get it, but I think I'll get it. I think I can hack it. So I got my PABT cleared, the SSB cleared. Out of 140 girls, we were only 2 girls who were selected. And then there was a huge dilemma within me as to, all these years I was only loving physics. I wanted to do good in physics. And here I stand asking myself, how about if I try flying also? I mean, I've met so many scientists in my life, doctors in my life, teachers, engineers, and everyone. I haven't met a pilot in my life. And at that time, pilots used to be very rare entities. So I said, let me just move out of this comfortable zone where I am, loving my subject, and let me move on to this unknown, field of flying. Initial years were definitely struggling, but later on we picked it up. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all the students and parents who are sitting and watching this program, from the time of SSB interview, the 1.5 years of flying training and the ground training that we underwent, then thereafter those 10 years that we have served in the Air Force, and till date, IF has actually transformed our life into something different. What the IF has actually offered us, the kind of life that it has given us, I don't think most of us even dream about having. Why do I say that? Is because all of us dream good. We dream we have very practical goals, but we have average goals. We have goals commensurate to our perceived capabilities. So that's why I said this type of life, not everybody dreams about what we were actually getting. I'm not a woman who has, scaled Mount Everest. I'm not a woman who has circumnavigated the globe. I'm not a woman who's flying a fighter jet. But I can tell you very confidently that whatever I am doing today in my own area of operations, I'm a lady, I'm a woman with a lot of confidence. I'm a lady with a lot of motivation. I'm a lady who can make choices, who can take her own decisions in life and also stand by those decisions. And that is what is required. I'm a lady who's absolutely fearless, full of positivity, and wants to even, empower the others who are around me, whether they are students, whether they are fellow teachers, or whether they are any individuals who is around me. So that is the kind of confidence that I've gained while being in the Indian Air Force. And I'm so thankful to all my professors whom I've met in my life, all the instructors whom I've flown with. I still remember one of my instructors said, we were like making a landing on a airfield. And on the airfield, there are those center lines. So we were trying to align the aircraft on the center line. I was not properly exactly aligned onto the center line, but I was slightly towards the left of it. And that's when he said, Swapna, are you perfectly aligned? I said, yes, sir, I'm somewhere there. And you know what he said? He said, somewhere there is nowhere there. You got to be exactly there. That just didn't apply to flying itself and landing an aircraft. No. It applies to your normal life also, your daily life also. If you have decided something, if you have those big dreams, then you've got to put in not just 80% of your effort, but you've got to put in your 100% effort. You've got to be exactly there and not somewhere there. I mean, I've met these beautiful, wonderful instructors in life, good professors in life who have really taught me something that I don't know, if they would have not have been there, I wouldn't have known all these value sets and skill sets. And that's why it's not important to do really big in life. It's not important to scale Mount Everest in life. It's not important to fly fighter jets, but it's important that whatever you are doing, you give it your best shot. And this kind of confidence, I also have 2 children, and I really feel that now we want the same kind of confidence. We want the same kind of personality, the same attitude, and we want to see the same things in our children also and the individuals around us. And for that, let me share just about 2 slides with you so that you can take back something. I hope the slides are visible to you. And yeah, so I call them as steps to success. So these are 5 steps to success that I have learned from my own life experience, and till date I fall back on them. I apply them in my own personal life, and I've seen whatever Pallavi ma'am has spoken, whatever the the other speakers I'm sure will speak. somewhere we are all talking the same thing. We are all saying the same content in our own different ways, relating them to our own experience. And these are the 5 steps to success. The first step, S, is that you got to take small steps and make small changes in life. What do I mean by saying that? Don't plan to do something really big on the first day. Those small steps, those small changes that you make in your daily life is going to actually tune your life, and the results you're going to see, few years down the lane. What do I mean by saying small steps is, see, whether it is making your own bed in the morning. Our day in the academy used to start at 4:30, making our own beds and then going for the physical sessions. And it used to end at around 10:30, 11 o'clock. Again, it used to end with our physical session. But between this hectic schedule of ours, we've got to make our bed, we've got to do our cabin cupboard, we've got to maintain. They taught us very simple things: how to introduce yourself to your superior officers, how to hold glass, how to sit, how to dine properly. These are small changes that we have made in our daily lives, and now it has gotten to our blood. I can't hold a glass in a different way than what was taught to me, and that was the right way. So please plan and take small steps in your life, make small changes in your life, which is going to actually mold your life in a big way, in a very positive way. The second step and the ladder to success is think always positive. It's not think positive, it's think always positive. Now, all of you students, young ones, you might think that these are the words that I've just got it directly from some book, but it's not that. Again, when I say that I've got it from my own experiences, because every time something used to happen, I used to think it's okay, I'll do it once again. Next time I'll get it, but I will get it. I'll try 10 times. I'll fail 8 times, but I'll succeed in the next 2 times, You have to get into the practice of thinking always positive. That is the practice. We brush our teeth every day. That's a practice. We can't forget it. So we have to think positive every time. Initially, you might have to fake it up. I don't deny that fact. But once you get into the habit, I think it will become a way of life with you. It gets you, you get a positive mindset. You get a growth mindset. You get into that growth mindset. And that growth mindset is going to change your life like anything. The third step is E, which is ensure that you believe in yourself. All of us believe in ourselves, but we forget again. So it's important to ensure that this point that yes, I believe in myself. Again, it's a habit that you believe in yourself. The next is practice hard and smart work. Now, whether you make small changes in life, whether you think positive, you ensure that you believe in yourself, nothing is going to work unless and until you put in your best hard and smart work behind it. You have to back it up with your smart and hard work, which is very, very important. If you keep working hard, if you keep thinking positive, there is nothing that you can't achieve. And last point is shift between your comfort and uncomfortable zone. Now, this is very important. I would just like to take a minute to explain this. See, every time a new assignment is given to you, every time you're given any new, let's say the exams are on your head. We all fear exams, right? That's because probably we are not prepared for it. Probably we don't have that skill within us. That's why we have this fear. So what do? So let's say, suppose you do not have good interpersonal skills, you do not have good communication skills. So you plan to take up either an official course, a degree or a certification, or learn it unofficially. So what is happening is, in this period, while you are learning it, you are stepping out of your comfort zone, trying to acquire that skill, and then you create another fresh comfort zone for yourself. So you acquire that skill. Now you're comfortable. Now, let's say the next year, you plan something for yourself. You plan to learn something for yourself. So what do? While you're learning, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, trying to acquire that skill. Once you acquire that skill, once again, you create a new comfort zone for yourself. So what's happening? You're shifting between your comfortable and your uncomfortable zone. And this last step is going to make you a very, very fearless and a positive person. It'll get you into a habit of, accepting some risks and holding some unknowns in your hands. it'll also, get you, shape you up into a different individual altogether. You have to be a better version of yourself from what you were in the last year. So this step is what is going to get you there. Every time shaping yourself from what you were in the last year. And it's going to also add an additional feather on your cap once you are learning something. So again, what Pallavi ma'am said, please keep learning, don't stop learning. This is the point what I'm trying to, but this is in a the words are different, but it says the same thing. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we all must dream big. We all must dream something which is beyond our perceived capability. And literally, IF has done that to me. It has got that, leader, out of me. Otherwise, in any other profession, I don't think I would have got this confidence and this, this kind of attitude that I can hack anything. And so I'm really thankful to all those instructors and professors whom I've met in my life. There's one more thing that I want to tell you is, if you want to stand apart, you've got to stand alone. Please don't wait for crowd to come along with you. If you have a goal, others don't have that goal, there's no sync, stand alone and work for yourself. You will always succeed, because there is no substitute for hard work, and there is no shortcut to success. On this occasion of International Women's Day, I think one last thing that I would like to tell you is the real meaning of what is this International Day is. It's not just for the ladies or the girls, it's also for our empowered men and boys who are sitting and hearing me out. We are all empowered, but what we need to do is we need to raise people who are around us to a certain level where they can empower the others. I think that is the real meaning of International Women's Day, and let's all pledge to do that in future. Let's all pledge to raise people who are around us to a certain level where they want to be. With that, I really hope, ladies and gentlemen, that I've done justice to you in whatever I've spoken, and I really hope that you take back something very informative, something which you can apply onto your lives. May God give you all the motivation, all the confidence in life. Stay blessed. God bless you all. And thank you so much for having me over here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was such a wonderful session. I know my students and we faculty have got a wonderful message from your side.
Thank you.
You have told us motivation and self-evaluation is the best fuel to success.
Thank
if
you
you
so
believe
much.
in yourself, you can achieve your dreams, and you have set an example with your life. Thanks a lot for sharing your ideals and ideologies with us, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Now, I would like to request Shilpa ma'am, founder, Bioscan, to share her experience with us.
Sure. Hi everybody. I think I would like to just start by sharing a little bit about Bioscan research, and then I can speak for 2 minutes.
Ma'am, if I may, we cannot hear the audio, ma'am.
Sorry, you cannot hear the audio?
No, ma'am. The video is visible, but audio is not there, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine. I think I can talk about it because it will take more time. Yeah, so I mean, it's really wonderful to be here. And hello everyone. Sorry for the video. I think there's some problem, but I'll just let you know. Like at Bioscan Research, we are building an intracranial bleed detector, which basically detects an intracranial bleed non-invasively. So whenever somebody falls in on you, they have a road accident or they've fallen at home and there are no symptoms, people don't usually end up in hospital, and this delays the detection. So we are trying to do early detection with this device. So this is about Bioscan Research. Now coming to the event, I'm very glad to be part of International Women's Day celebration organized by IAR. And I was listening to the speakers before me and was glad to be part of this event. I will just add my 2 cents. First of all, I must say that on this day that I really believe in the youth of India today. The way they are shaping up, I see them taking new ventures, protesting for the right things and putting their opinions ahead, and they are leading a life which was not, or they are dreaming in a way that we were not dreaming earlier. So I am very hopeful for the India that we are shaping up. Just in that process, there are things that I have learned, or when I was doing this venture, coming from a comfortable job, doing this venture, and now planning to be with it forever. So there is a thing that I have learned, not just from my story, but also my friends around or people who have done different things in their lives, be it job or a venture or maybe anything. So it's about building your own story. So my message to you as youngsters would be that everybody has a unique story, and you need or unique elements or strengths in your personality, and you need to build your own story. You may sometimes find role models, that person is working in the dream jobs. I'll just stop sharing my screen once and then probably I can talk. Just 1 second. Yeah. So I was saying that, you really need to focus on your own strengths and build your story. How do you focus on your own strengths? It is only through realization, in the sense, that you are very sensitive, you can make friends. So, okay, this is my strength. Okay, I can delve into details. Okay, this is my strength. So there are strengths that you have, there are strengths that you can build. So you need to find those elements and put it in a way or channel that energy to build your story. You have to believe in yourself. You may not be perfect, but there is a version that you dream about yourself. Sometimes, we are not very fit, but we dream that, no, we want to be fit. So how do you get there? Your dream is to get fit, but you have at least you could dream that thing. That is your strength. So I'm just saying that you need to nurture your unique elements. Now, what are the ways that you can nurture, you can identify your unique elements? One of the things that Ms. Pallavi mentioned was finding mentors. Sometimes somebody else also may help you realize that, you are strong in this, or somebody may work along with you to, realize your goals in life. Then there are books, I think book reading is one of the things which is really undermined, but it is one of the best things. You may not find your kind of people sometimes around you, but you may find it in those authors, their opinions, and from around the world. So you may not have an access to let's say a person who's written a book from US. He exactly thinks like you, and you may identify your thoughts with them. So I would say that read more and more books. Now there are it's all global. There are so many books available to you. I think so. Finding a mentor and reading books, I think, can really make a huge difference to finding your own strength sometimes. Also, one of the things I have learned in life is it's not, there is a difference between pleasure and bliss. So, sometimes when we are, say, we dreamt about something and, we thought, arey hoga ki nahi, those self-doubts, ye, wo. आप जब उसको overcome करते हैं ना, when you start working on it and you overcome it, there is a state that you get into. आपने ना बहुत exercise की and you build muscles, बहुत pain हुआ, the journey was painful, it was not pleasure, but what you got at the end is a kind of happiness, like satisfaction. We call that bliss. So bliss is different from pleasure. Aapko kabhi kabhi, when you dream big, when you dream something that people around you are not able to understand at that point, you have to work in a way. It may be painful at some point, but if it is giving you that bliss at the end of the day, you are on the right path, and it's fine to to take that pain. So if you want to, for example, let's say you want to get into a particular company, you want to do certain jobs. So doing that extra thing, everybody has gone and joined a job somewhere, but you don't identify with that. तो घर में बैठ के 6 महीने तक कोई स्किल बिल्डअप करना and then apply करना, you have to deal with all those insecurities, you have to deal with that, but at the end what you will get is a bliss of what you wanted to get. And then when you get there, probably your dream has changed. Now you want to do something else. But what I'm trying to say is build your own story and believe in it. It's very important to God has made every individual in a unique way. We cannot be clones of each other. तो आप किसी और को देख के सिर्फ अपनी स्टोरी मत बनाइए, अपनी स्टोरी खुद बनाइए. And every individual on this earth, I am a strong believer that can make their own stories. So this is my message. I believe in the millennials and the young generation of India, and I just wish that everybody dreams big and they put in that kind of work which takes them to the dream that that they are dreaming about in their heads. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilpa ma'am, for urging our students as well as us to start creating our own story. Everyone's story has a different message, will have a different sweetness to it. I'm sure our students would have got inspired by it, and from today on they will be start a new journey to create and leave a mark of themselves in this world. Thanks a lot for the wonderful message, ma'am.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's our honor, ma'am. Now, let me take this opportunity to request Deputy Commandant Anuradha Shukla ma'am to share her views and her experience in Indian Coast Guard. Over to you, Anuradha ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank you and say good morning to everyone, and I would like to wish everyone a very, very happy Women's Day. I am Deputy Commandant Anuradha Shukla in Indian Coast Guard. I joined service in 2010, and I joined as an administrative officer. I was a logistic officer. Basically, I was doing the ADM job. Since 2015, I am in operations. I got this opportunity to serve on board Warcraft. The first time in India, I think the government took decision to deploy women officers on board ACV, on board seagoing any asset. So it's a very special asset. I applied in that, and luckily I got through everything, and I'm here today. I've clocked near about 2,800 hours. Generally, it will be only pilot will be able to understand what I'm saying. And I give training to my juniors who are male. I was among 4 pilots. I was the senior most who was selected that time. Now I'm the only one who is continuing, and it has been a good journey in the forces. And as Sapna ma'am has already given the window to the armed forces, I have not seen any gender-biased thing or any such mentality which is existing here. I got training with my seniors who are male, and I am training the juniors who are male. And yes, I belong to a very simple family of UP, and there is no one from my family in the defense forces. Since my childhood, it was my dream to become officer. Since the exposure was not there, and that time the women entry were there, but I was actually not knowing it. So in 2009, I got this Indian Coast Guard advertisement I saw on the TV, and I applied. And here I am standing today. So if I can do, anyone else can do. And since the day I joined the service, it was a different narration and amazing lifestyle. Yes, you have to face challenges every day. Challenges are everywhere. You can do anything, whatever you think. Yes, as Pallavi ma'am has already said, believe in yourself. Whatever you believe, you can achieve. I also used, when I was young, I used to see so many these advertisements like this, speaking good English about the leadership and you can achieve and all. I used to think, I don't know if this really exists or not, but believe me, if you think something, it can happen. There's nothing like girls can do, boys can do. I don't believe in that, because I have done what many of the male officers are not able to do in the defense forces. So if you think big, you want to touch the sky, the world is full of opportunities. You can always touch the sky. You need one good day to make you successful, and for that one good day, you have to put in effort every day. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuradha ma'am, for the wonderful message and sharing your experience with us. And just one curious question that had risen in my mind while I was going through a certain series of interviews that you had given, that you had undertaken a narcotic operation in July 2020. Ma'am, how was that experience? You had gone through the dangerous side of armed forces. So how was it? What was going through your mind during that time?
It's very nice question. That movement was very different for every Fauji. Fauji can understand what is the Josh from inside. When you wear the uniform, you get some different thinking. That was, yes, life-changing moment for me. The weather was very rough. Generally, in that weather, in this area where I'm posted right now, Gujarat Post, the weather was really tough in those days, July, June, these months. So the big ships have issues going at sea because swell and winds are very high. But yes, jisko jo karna hota hai, if you decided, then nothing can stop you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So far, everyone would have talked about men in uniform. Now, I'm sure Supna ma'am and Anuradha ma'am have set ahead an example. Now, many of our students will be looking ahead to be women in uniform. I'm sure of that, ma'am. Thanks for sharing your views with us today, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you to
As
everyone.
an odd, sorry, ma'am. As an odd to all the women achievers and the women leaders in the history of India, our students have prepared a small video honoring all the achievers and women leaders of India. Please, we would like to share the video to all present here. ऑडियो नहीं है.
Is there an audio with this, Divya?
Yes, ma'am. Audio. Some technical issue has again happened. By the time they resolve this technical issue, let me move ahead to rendering the vote of thanks. I, on behalf of IAR and on myself, extend a heartfelt gratitude to all the invitees for inspiring our students and our faculties by sharing their life experiences, because experience. Yes. heartfelt gratitude to all the invitees, chief guests and guests of honor for accepting our invite and being a part of this event. This event would not have been possible without the support of our President, Professor Rao, and Provost, Ruchi Singh. A special thanks to Dr. Alok Pandya and Team SSIP for sponsoring this event. Let me take this opportunity to stress upon the help and support my dear students have given, Zaid Ansari, Dhruv Malhotra, and Jigar Singh. Without your help, this event would not have run this smoothly. Thanks a lot. Just remember, we do not have to be heroes overnight. Just a step at a time, meeting each thing that comes up, seeing it is not dreadful as it is appeared, discovering we have the strength to stare it down. No matter where you go in life, inspire and empower the women around you. Success is never reached alone, and wisdom and wealth are sweeter and when shared. With these quotes, I would like to express all my thanks for all the audience who have joined us and for being a wonderful audience. Thanks a lot.